take it away.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, today I'm going to be discussing how to get the most out of your project's voiceover. As mentioned, I'm Victoria Feinerman. I record in American English. I have 20 years of experience, a professional home studio, and I'm the founder of the Israel Voiceover Organization. So a brief introduction to voiceover. What is a voiceover? It's the voice of an unseen narrator speaking. And we use it for promotional videos, such as on YouTube or Facebook, tutorial videos, which are often in-house or could be on YouTube, fundraising videos on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, product videos on Etsy or Amazon, mobile apps, radio or TV commercials, telephone systems, and more. Now, how do you find a voice talent for your project? You can go to an agency or a studio. Now, having a middleman, the agency or the studio, makes it more expensive, around 20% more expensive. Having a middleman also makes it a much slower process because they need a schedule with a voice talent, they need a schedule with you, there's a lot of back and forth. But the upside is you can get multiple voice talents, which is great if you need multiple languages for a single project. For example, if you have a telephone system, you need to be in multiple languages, or if you're dubbing a video into multiple languages. Now, another option is freelance voice talents. There's no middleman, which makes it cheaper, and it also makes for faster turnaround because there's no scheduling. It's just one person, but that person can refer you to or may partner with additional voice talents in other languages. Or if it's a female, they may refer you to a male, so there's not much of a problem with that. Voiceover marketplaces are another very popular place to find a voice talent. These are websites where you post a project and many people audition for it. Having a middleman does not make it more expensive because the voice talent pays the fee. You receive multiple auditions, but there's usually around 100 auditions or more, and you have to sift through them. And there's often inexperienced, unqualified so-called voice talents there with poor audio quality. I provide here a couple of examples of better marketplaces if you want to go that way. Cheap freelancing sites. Well, there's a lot of those like Fiverr.com and Upwork.com, which have too many voice talents to sift through. You have to sit there and select a voice talent. It can take ages. And like with marketplaces, they're often inexperienced and with poor audio quality, and you get what you pay for. Additional options include text-to-speech, where there's a program that converts the text into a voiceover. Unfortunately, there's usually a robotic tone of voice to these, though they're seriously improving these programs. It's still difficult to get proper pacing. For example, in a conversational voiceover, some words need to be faster, some words need to be a little slower. And text-to-speech still has the inability to pronounce brand names. The final option is to do it yourself, which is the cheapest option without a doubt, but you'll have poor audio quality without a studio, lack of acting experience impacts your project, and creates an amateurish image for your product, company, or service, and it costs you time and effort. So why would you want to use professional voiceover? First of all, for branding purposes. The voice talent's voice, their vocal qualities and style create a personality for your company or service. For example, friendly, youthful, formal, even cool. It projects a professional image instead of an amateurish image, like when you record it yourself. And in some systems, telephone systems, for example, the first thing someone hears is your voice, the voice of the telephone system, and you want it to be professional. You don't want it to be your secretary recording it. Studies show that professional voiceover holds attention better, which is great for long, boring tutorials, and quality, better audio quality and acting skills. So what do you want to ask a voice talent once you've decided to use a voice talent for your project? Obviously, how much experience they have. And very importantly, do they have a clean native accent that matches your target audience? For example, if you have a US audience, you're going to want a US accent. If your project is aimed at a wide audience, a neutral accent is desirable. In the States, that would be a Midwestern US accent, also known as General American. For a localized audience, for example, if you're just a small dealership, a car dealership in the south of the United States, you could use a Southern accent. So you would want to ask if they have good studio equipments. Some must-haves are a condenser microphone and an acoustically treated studio. Without these two, you're going to get terrible audio. What is the turnaround time? A full-time voice talent is usually faster because they don't have a day job, so they don't have to wait till the nighttime to record. What is the price? And does the price include recuts? Now, recuts are when the voice talent, after recording your voiceover, has to re-record either the entire voiceover or part of it. Sometimes this is included in the price, sometimes it's not. If not, you want to know how much that's going to cost you. Can you get a free custom demo recorded at their studio? This is really important. This enables you to gauge the audio quality and decide whether the voice talent style even suits your project. And finally, do you offer directed sessions via Zoom or telephone? If you want each and every word said a specific way, you need to direct them via Zoom or telephone. Otherwise, in something like 95% of cases, this isn't important and you don't need to do that. So, how to evaluate a voiceover price quote. The IVO, the Israel Voiceover Organization, provides a rate sheet for beginning voice talents that you can use as a baseline. So there's a link here if you're interested. Elements that go into pricing include word count, the usage. A TV ad will cost more than a social media video, more than an in-house video or telephony. If the voiceover needs to be cut into multiple audio files, it will cost more. If it needs to be synchronized to a video, for example, in dubbing, it will cost more. Complex technical language might impact the price, the voice talent's experience, if it's a rush job, and as mentioned, if recuts are included. If they're included, you're going to pay more, whether you need them or not. So it might be a better idea to simply finalize your script, let it be recorded, and then hopefully you don't need any recuts. Incidentally, recuts due to an error on the voice talent's part are done for free. Extra services, translation, or language editing will also cost more. Before the recording, you need to give direction to the voice talent. Tell them if you want it to sound formal, professional, conversational, etc. If a video already exists, send it to the voice talent so they can synchronize the voiceover with the video. They also get a feel for what the video is like. Send any music to the voice talent so they can understand the mood. Send pictures of any animated characters that you want them to voice, if relevant. Prepare the script and send it to the voice talent. We'll discuss that in the next slide. And get your free custom demo to finalize the style and pace of the voiceover before it's all recorded. If you don't like the demo, explain why and ask for a new one. Rinse and repeat. Up to 3 demos. After 3 demos, you need to look for a new voice talent if you're not pleased. Preparing the script. There's a sample script here on the right. You want to use bold to mark words that you want emphasized. Add notes to the talent, including when to pause or read more slowly or quickly. For example, here we want the URL to be read slowly and pauses between bulleted items. Add pronunciations for technical jargon and brand names. If you need multiple files, you want the voiceover cut into multiple files, you need to create a table and have the file names in the table. Finalize the script to avoid recuts, and you can download a script template from my website. Here's a link. After the recording, listen carefully to the voiceover. If the voice talent made a mistake, they should provide a free recut. If you need to change the script for some reason, and recuts are not included in the price, ask for a price quote. Mark any mistakes or changes in the script clearly. If you just tell them, after the word red, add green, they're never going to find it. And finally, ask the video editor if anything else is needed. For example, a change to the timing of a sentence if the video is dubbed. And that's about it. You can contact me for professional voiceover. Regardless of language, I can refer you to various voice talents in different languages, to male voice talents as well. And you can find me on my websites, or connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I'd be happy.
Awesome. Thank you. Firstly, round of applause, Victoria. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Are there any questions at all for Victoria?
I'll shoot.
Sure.
I think it's, I mean, like, thank you for going into actually how specific it is to do voiceover. I've met a couple of people in Tel Aviv and just in my life in general that do it. And I know just how difficult it is to actually become professional. And what fascinates me about you is how you were able to, like, on your own, land some of like the biggest brands you mentioned in your opening, like SodaStream, for example, and Bezic. Maybe that's something that's more practical for some of us that are, you know, small business owners. How did you manage to, as basically amazing person, but one person on their own, how did you manage to get into these bigger companies?
Well, I started out working with the studio in Ranana, and I got on their voice reel for their studio, and they marketed me to all their customers, which was excellent. A few years later, I built my own home studio, and I had to drum up work myself. So I built a website and did some SEO for the website so that I was easily findable. I find work on Facebook, sometimes on LinkedIn, a lot of word of mouth, but it took time. It really took time to build a customer base.
Is it mainly Israeli-based work, or also a lot from abroad?
90% of my work is from Israel,
Interesting.
then some European countries, India, occasionally India.
Fantastic. Any more questions? Awesome. Okay, great. Oh, sorry, Dana, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I could hear you talk. Like, if you could just be my background voice for whatever I'm doing.
I always think that, yeah, it's fantastic what you've accomplished, really. It's really fabulous. Thank you so much. So I'm now going to put you into breakout rooms again. It's now 5 to 10, so I'll bring you out at 10:05, and I'll give you a 5-minute warning again. Benjamin, I see you, and you can introduce yourself after. Do not worry. I see you, and you've been recognized. Welcome.